Good. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our blab. So I see we have a lot of people here around. So I would like you to text here where you're from. So just type in your name and where you're from and what's your dog's name. Like for example, I'm writing down here, hi, this is Roman and Sandy, which will join my team today. And I'm a slow typer. See, everybody's faster than I am. We are in Austin, Texas. Yay! Welcome. Who is Sid the Kid? So you guys know each other. Awesome. Hi, Sydney. Welcome on board. Hi, Dennis. Boston. Yeah, English Mastiff. Good. Kate Wagner, Alberta, Canada. Leo, right. Sydney, I have your domino. We'll see her. Who else is down here? This is Sydney as from. Oh, bonjour to Paris. Okay, who else is here? Good. We have a kind of international group. I don't see Sydney yet on our map. Good. Who else is here? So, today we're going to talk about how fear aggression is misunderstood condition. And I would love to start with you guys, and I would like somebody to step up on my chair and tell me his story about his fearful dog. Who wants to step up? So the story goes like this. I will ask you questions and we'll kind of want to observe how we conceive the word fear aggression, and we want to see it from both sides, one from the owner's perspective and one will see it from the dog's perspective and try to find here a common denominator, if I say it right, kind of. Good. So who wants to step in here? Who is this? Martina. Oh, Martina, passionate animal lover, German Austenit. What? She disappeared. Who's next? Rebecca. Oh, here she is again. We found her. So, interested in leadership, improvements, innovation, marketed CEO, and excel to great management consulting. So, Martina seems to run a dog business here somehow. I know that she is correct. That's nice. So, Martina, if she wants, she can come up here on the chair and say hello to everyone. She works with rescues. I'm sure she has something to say. At least a hello, right? So Martina and everybody you want to talk to me, you can send a message which is like all the way, no, it's down here. So all the way down here on the bottom, you will have this text message screen where you type your name. And let me see here, what else do we have? Oop. And then good. Okay. I have to answer these people. So if everybody misses the link to the blab, you can find the link on my Roman's Canine Training Roman's Facebook page. Good. Okay. Good. Here we go. So if somebody can post, if nobody finds the link, I'll post it on in the events section. Copy link address on Mastiff Lovers. On Mastiff Lovers. Good. Here we go. Let's click. Okay, good. Here I am back. So, who wants to sit next to me? Somebody wanted to adjust. So if you don't make yourself visible here down at the joining section, I will not have anybody sit next to me because there are some kind of weird visitors coming in and kind of show their panties. We don't want these guys. So if you don't announce yourself down here in the question section, like, hi guys, I want to step up and talk to you guys. This is what I want to talk about. You will definitely don't sit next to me. I'm kind of scared. I'm like fearful on that. Okay. So hi Judy. Judy's on board. Okay. So, hey Judy, you're my next victim. How about you sit next to me? Who can tell her what to do to get next to me because I always forget about it? You don't have a camera? Lucky you. Press the call button. Good. So, if nobody sits next to me, I'll do it. I'll talk on my own. Where is my Sandy? Let me grab Sandy. Let's start with Sandy. Sandy! Did I introduce you to Sandy? That's Sandy. She takes all the hits. So when I'm working with fearful dogs or with aggressive dogs, she will take the first hit. So she's kind of damaged. She has some bite wounds all over the place, especially on her butt, on her legs. She's kind of cute, right? She's a tough girl. She's kind of dusty. She needs a shower. She needs a bath. Good. So let's start officially. Hi, this is Roman with Roman's Canine Training, and our webinar today will be discussing about fear aggression and how this is misunderstood condition. So I would start it this way. When we see a dog sending an aggressive message that we call aggressive, then we automatically stamp the dog as aggressive. My question is, how do we know that this is an aggressive message? If a dog sends us a calming message, for example, lifting the lip or putting the ears back, we should not see that as ears back equals aggressive, because that's what's coming next. If I see a dog a tail in, this is where I say the dog is fearful. That's correct. But if a dog shows his lips high and his teeth, then we automatically says, oh, this is an aggressive dog. Oh, his tail is in, he's fear aggressive. Now, my question is here, and maybe you want to give me an answer by texting whatever you want. How do you identify an fearful, aggressive dog? Give me some hints. You can text it down there. We can talk about it. Okay, bad language. So give me a sign here. Body language is a general term. Point something out. Which is, and I asked a question of Mastiff lovers, which is the first sign that you recognize on your dog the moment he sees a fearful situation that you see on your dog and you're like, uh-oh, we are in trouble. Give me that sign. Hyperfocus, hackle rise. Good. Okay, we keep that. Hyperfocus and hackles rise. Forward stance and hackles. Good. What else? That's what I'm asking. Give me that kind of answers. Good. So guys, I'm not the only one talking here. Okay, I'm asking questions, you give me answers, then you ask me questions and I give answers, and it's kind of a fair game here. And if I think it's very important, you can take a seat next to me and just sit next to me and we can talk about it. Ears up, tails up, or possibly between the legs. Okay. Lip him licks. Yeah, I like that one. That's my favorite. Good. Hi, Josh. Software engineer at Blab. Dude, welcome on board. You were just checking in. He's gone. We kind of get interesting people here. Anybody else? Good. So I want you to rethink based on making sure you weren't streaming porn. Yeah, like last time we had this visitor coming in and says, I want to come on your seat. I said, well, come in. And then he started being drunk. Well, that doesn't work. But it's good that we're kind of being watched. I like that. At least we're getting short. But guarantee if somebody shows up, they're kind of weird. He's gone. I saw that moron, right? He was smart. Well, he's not anymore. I blocked him. He will never see my blab again. So who do we have here? Max need. Hey, Max is here. How is Max doing? Oh, how about coming on board? Because last time we had struggling. Hi, Amy. Amy's here. Good. So let's ask Max a question. How does Max shows his concern? What does Max do? Martina, your most fearful dog, how does he express himself in the first fearful situation? So what I recognize on my dogs, the first thing I get is lip licking, the outer first situation. Now let's watch that. Why do we lick the lips? Why do we lick the lips? What does licking in general means? First of all, if anybody of you guys is working in a laboratory, what do we do before we do a testing? Yeah, calming is a good situation. That's what it's hinting at. But before we take a sample from a chemical and we use a pen to measure, the first thing is we clean the solution. We clean solution, we clean up the measuring, and we put it in this chemical, and then we test it. So the tongue licking means basically I'm cleaning up to get clean information. And I translate it this way: lip licking is the first signal of processing. The dog sees a situation, he processing that picture, he tries to figure out what's going on. Good. Right. So once that is established, the same moment, and it's a very clear picture because all the tongues in the world, most of them are red, except a few dogs which are black. Interesting, right? So we have dogs who have black tongues and some dogs who have red tongues, most of them. But we know that the black tongue dogs are most complicated because if they lick themselves, you don't see it. So maybe they have black tongues on purpose, so the enemy would not see that the dogs are existing and hiding in the bush before they attack. Smart guys, right? So if I would be a dog and I'm facing Sandy, the first thing I see is that face, right? Right? She's cute things. And so what happens is she does this. So let's say she goes here with the tongue and cleans her tongue. You see that cleansing red thing going over her face? It's a very clear, short red light that triggers the other dog to understand that this dog is processing. He doesn't need to see any facial structure. We don't care if there is long hair, short hair. As long as we get that signal, we know the dog is processing the information he just got from the picture he saw. Now here's what happens next. The next thing that goes on is the brain is triggered to extract certain chemicals. And can anybody tell me what chemicals a stressed dog will release? What happens with humans? What do humans release when they get stressed? And what happens? And I think Martina has an answer on that. Yeah, adrenaline. And what happens next? What does adrenaline do? Do we have anybody there who can answer that question? I'm not. Yep, fight or flight. That's the result. Kicks the amygdala. Oops, what was that? I like that. Kicks in the amygdala. What does the amygdala do? What's there going on? So the amygdala is on the brain, obviously, right? It's a center in the brain. It's the very center of the brain, the closest to all the nerves that go spread all over their body. Exactly. In the amygdala, basically, we have a fight and flight response, survival instinct. So let's say amygdala is the emotional processor of fear response. How that works is basically we have a telephone operator and she sits on the telephone room and she gets a call and says, hello, I'm the operator. And the other line says, dog. And she knows exactly what to do. She pulls all the cables and she starts connecting all these phone calls and divert that signal that just came in through the phone line. So Kelly wants to come in. Networkaholic claims this. Okay, so Kelly, she wants to talk here. Kelly, before you sit next to me, I would like you to tell me what you want to talk about. For safety reasons, because we are talking about fear aggression and I'm really scared here. I need to know what's going on. Good. Okay. Sit next to me and welcome, Kelly. Oh, you're funny. Next. See, it's quick. You make jokes out of it, you're gone. So once that filter kicks in, so you have this operator person coming in and tells what she wants, that operator will divert that information into the appropriate section to be processed. So for example, the dog operator shows up on the screen, so the dog will see a dog picture and that equals fear, then the operator will send the signal to the back legs, to the tails, to the hackles, to the ears to give a feedback back to the source. So let's say, for example, I have a dog. Okay, it's not a nice dog. It's a better dog. Roar, 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 right? And you have another dog, and they're facing each other. They basically start communicating with each other with all these different signals. So we don't see them talking because there's no time to talk, but we see one dog acts and the other one reacts. Then based on that reaction, this dog will react. And all of a sudden, this will escalate. And we have three basic options. The one is the dog will retreat and will go back to a safe place. Okay? The next response will be the dog will remain seated and don't move. Try to calm things down and not escalating. And then the third option will be he will counterattack to avoid conflict. by making conflict. It's kind of confusing. So what the dog is doing is, because of his fear triggers, he will attack the other dog before he's being attacked. Good. So Jaco van Berg, welcome on board. So what are we talking here? Just a short reminder. We talked about fear aggression, but basically I want to see fear aggression is basically a misunderstood condition. I would not add aggression to that because I don't feel it's really aggression. I don't see why a child is being aggressive if it's fearful of falling off a chair and starts screaming and yelling. I don't see why a person is fear aggressive if he sees a needle being stick in his butt, get a medicine, and he tries to avoid it. I don't see where fear aggression is aggressive if a person is trapped in a closed box and wants to get out of there, and he will scream, yell, punch against the door to get out. And I don't see a person who is trying to protect his child and is going to kill somebody else to save his child. So I don't see that aggression. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We're discussing things here. So what's your opinion? How aggressive do you think is fear aggression in a scale of 1 to 10? Is fear aggression really an aggression? What do you think, Michael? Amy? 5. Good. It's a defensive move. I like that. It's a good answer. Judy? Sydney, what do you think? Rebecca? Well, that's a good question. If you see, the quick question is, if two dogs fight, isn't that definition aggression? So if you want to ask the general question, or not an answer, so just a question, what I would like you to do is, I would like you to write a Q, a capital Q, and a counter slash, okay, and ask the question, which then goes up here to the red situation. Good. And it will pop up. Oh, I did it wrong. Sorry. See, I did the trap. So first you do the backslash, and then you write the Q. And then you post a question. And then it pops up next to me, and I will answer that question. Dennis, perfect. So if two dogs fight, isn't that by definition aggression? Yes, this is aggression. If you see a static picture, okay? But let's see that static picture as a moving picture. And let's ask here, Sid the kid. Well, I think the behavior itself can be aggressive, but it's a fear-based, then it's not just typical aggression. Like bully is just aggressive, but it's fearful child screaming isn't simply aggressive. Well, you answer your question. Correct. So again, if two dogs fight and you see this as a picture, as a static picture for two dogs aggressive fighting each other, right? Then you have an aggressive picture. But if you see a dog being defensive, correct, and there are different types. And so you see a dog defensive and another dog being offensive, then my question is, why is this dog offensive? And why is this dog fighting back? So let's see that picture a little bit. So Dennis, I think we answer your question. If two dogs isn't by definition aggressive, yes it is, if we see just a static picture. And Michael answers here a question. Aggression isn't still aggression regardless of reason. Of question might be, why is there aggression? And there are different types of aggression, correctly. So question is, what type of aggressions do we have that are not fear aggressions? Here I'm curious to see how many. I'm curious to see one. So, food aggression. First question, jealousy. What else? What kind of aggressions do we have? Defense, insecurity, resource. Good. These are few. Correct. Frustration, territorial. Good. I like you guys. You kind of warm up here. You give me some information. Being hurt by someone abusive. Okay, so being defensive. Okay. Now, let's hold there a little bit. Okay, be careful. I'm rather you drive on the side and park your car and don't get lost. We need you here. So the question is, why is territorial aggression? And if we go back to the first response, what is the dog afraid of losing when he becomes territorial? And this is my question. Why is the dog frustrated? Why is the dog defensive? Why is the dog aggressive over food? Maybe the source of all things is fear. The dog is fearful over losing his food, and that's why his defense mechanism kicks in and says, "You're not gonna take my food," right? Or somebody wants to invade the space, and he's like, "No, you're not gonna take our space over here." But we need also to see one thing. Why do we have dogs at the first place? We have dogs at the first place because they are so sensitive of being defensive. That's why we have protection dogs. That's why we have working dogs. That's why we have hunting dogs. Okay? All these fear responses trigger the whole body mechanism to do a certain action that we train them or they have the DNA to perform. Okay? So all these drives are basically kind of down to base on fear. If we want to trigger attraction, what do? We remove contact, create attraction, and the dog is being attracted back to the owner because of fear. Fear of losing the owner. So on one side, we train our dogs to be constantly fearful in a good manner. On the other side, if they escalate too much, we call them aggressive. But who can copy paste from the website the term aggressive and post it here? Because I'm curious to see what exactly does a well-known lexicon defines the word aggressive. Can anybody do that? I can do that, but I will get lost on my websites. Good. So, hostile or violent behavior. Hostile or violent behavior of attitudes towards another, readiness to attack, to confront. Okay? So basically, it tells you here that aggression is basically for no real reason. Okay? Michael, you are correct. But basically, I agree with you in the one fact that we need to control the instinct in order to deal with what the aggression is triggering. And I agree with you. Please be welcome. Drive safe. Thanks for joining up here. And looking forward for you to have you back here, back again. So back to our guys. Say everybody bye to Michael. See you soon. So down to the base, I think we should focus on what triggers fear, how fear looks like, and then once we have that look of fear, how can we control that not to escalate and become uncontrolled reflex, which we call then aggressive. So before we doom a dog aggressive, we should see where this fear comes from, help the dog get out of that situation that he doesn't like to be anyway, because it's just stressful. He doesn't recognize things anymore. His whole system shuts down. So step number 2, once we see the dog reacting to the situation and we see him, the first response coming from his fear, I am not sure the thing I'm licking here is good. Let's lick myself and send the other guy a message. He should slow down because that thing makes me uncomfortable. I want to process it. Give me time. And this is the counterforce, number 1. If you see your dog sending this calming message to another dog, pause. Stop where you are. Let him think through what's happening. If you can avoid contact, have the other person, dog, or situation be hold there. Let them stop. Don't move closer. Let the dog process what's going on. The next thing you want to do is you want the dog to start having communication with you. You wait for your dog to start making contact with you and telling you, okay, I'm ready. I processed it. I know what's going on. It's nothing harmful. And then what you do is you do a next step forward. Only one single step. Make sure you don't get again the response. And then you move another step forward. And you move and you go on, watching your dog's response, how he responds with the speed of processing of the picture he gets. So if you don't do that and you continue pushing the dog into the situation, or the dog is being triggered by this situation approaching him from the licking, it becomes a body posture defensive or offensive depending on what message the dog wants to send to the other dog. And again, we have 3 options. The one option is defensive, the other option is neutral, and the other option is offensive. So if the dog is defensive, he goes back to his defense line. He may go backwards. If he is neutral, he will stand ground and try to calm things down. He says, dude, I'm not offending him. I'm just sitting here watching you. Like, don't calm down. Or he can be offensive and he says, how dare you blame me of being aggressive? And they going in a fight kind of situation. So you want to separate these three things. You want to check your dog and see. You want to see NBA Black. I cannot have anybody next to me. Hi, how are you doing? So NBA So Black, tell me about why you want to sit next to me. You just joined you. I'm not sure you know what we're talking about. No, we don't talk about your fears. We talk about fear aggression in dogs. Maybe my mistake. I should add that. You're welcome. So we talk again here about fear aggression in dogs. Well, how about joining here a little bit and see what's going on, and maybe you can talk later. So once we have that established and we have established that communication, so your dog is not scared of being alone in the field, he will be happy to have you on that team, because now we add the word compassion. So in that meaning is the handler and the dog are on the same page. The dog is fearful, the handler understands that and gives his feedback. So if the dog recognizes that as a first base, he will trust his handler in that situation. It's just like cops being in the field. He's alone, he's kind of scared, he has a partner, he feels more secure. Do we have any officer here on board that can confirm that? How does the officer feels like if he's getting in a situation and his first response, what is his first response if he's in conflict with the situation? Any ideas, anyone? Ben. How you doing, Ben? What's up? Exactly. Once the dog gets into that situation, the first thing he wants to protect himself. But what can hi. So what can a person do to help his dog not go into this defense mechanism? We are two people here. It's me and you. What are you afraid of? And he's like, I'm concerned about the situation I'm in, and I feel like I'm getting in trouble. This is where you have to step up and protect your dog by calming him down. And how you calm him down? First of all, you respect his time. Your dog needs to know that he needs time to process. And you need to protect your dog at this point because your dog is the one who's fearful, not you. And if we have a parent and a child, and the child is fearful, what's the role of the parent at this point? He is protective. Exactly. So we want to reassure. Hi, Abdul. Salam. Maybe you want to write down what you want to talk about. Exactly. So first of all, you want to reassure your dog that everything is okay by not forcing your dog to do things. He's already busy doing his stuff. And I see many people, the first thing they want to do is they want to ask the dog to sit before they do their assurance. So not only has the dog a problem situation going on in front of him, the handler adds another problem on top of it. And even that, the handler becomes upset and even starts forcing your dog to go down. Now he has two options. Once his handler talking to him, then his handler is pushing him to do things he's not comfortable doing anyway. And plus he has a problem going on in front of him and needs to deal with. So now the dog is freaking stressed. What do? First of all, give your dog time. Calm him down. Walk away from it. You have the right to retreat from a situation you're in. You don't need to go into it. And definitely you don't need to force your dog doing stuff he's already uncomfortable doing. Okay? So the next step you want to do once you get this reassurance of your dog and the communication skills are set, the next step is wait for your dog's feedback. When is your dog ready to go forward? Do you want to go forward and meet these things? Or are you done with it and we go away? Give him that option. Give him a second option of not failing. If you go forward, you get in a fight. What options do we have? I need to walk away. Good, let's go. That's the parent understanding of his child. When do I remove my child of a tricky situation? The child cannot judge himself if he can deal with the situation because he's never been in one. Good? So first of all, you need to understand your dog, take your dog out of a problem, think about it, and go back in when you know how the next step will look like. So let's say we have that established. The dog has communication, he checked in with you, he says he's fine, he can go a step further. You go a next step. You go a step further closer to the trigger he's into. Now, does anybody positive training here? And I would like to type in what exactly are we taught in positive training? When the dog shows his first reaction, what does positive training say we should do? Good question. Dennis, that's a very nice question. Does anybody has the answer to that question? Distance is good. Good. So positive training says keep your dog out of the trigger zone. My question is, how will the dog deal with the trigger if he stays away from a trigger zone? How does he emotionally deal with it? I agree on the first stage, take your dog out of the problem zone. But if the dog, exactly, if the dog cannot get out of there, this is where we step in and get him out of there. If we are too late recognizing this first calming signal, This is the one who tells us, I'm going into that zone. So positive training, I think most of the times miss that part to explain. Only if your dog is in that zone, take him out. If he's not in that zone, let him deal with it. He's fine. Or encourage him to think over the process, if it's safe to go in or not. If it's safe for him to go in there, but he's insecure to do that, you can add your 2 pennies to that and says, okay, let's go. Let's check it out. What is it? And he's like, oh my God, it's green. It's huge. It has 2 eyes. It's staring at me. Oh no. And you're like, hey, it's a garbage bin. It's fine. Take your time. Let's check it out. Let's move forward. It's okay. So if we see that the positive effect is guaranteed, we can encourage the dog to trust us and go into that zone and stay there, watching what happens. Stay there for a while, take your time until your dog calms down. Now what happened? I don't know. It was so spooky. So, what happened? Nothing? Yes. Good boy. Nothing happened. Why? Because I'm with you and we do it together. Good boy. Now your dog calms down. So what happens here is the dog checks in with you and tells you, it's okay, I can do that. You will, I guarantee you, you will sense that. If you wait long enough, you get that confirmation look and you felt, now my dog is ready. Trust your instinct. That's what it is about. I want your dog's instinct and your instinct connect together and connect and work with that together. So, who can repeat what just happened? We got the dog in the zone. The dog reacts to that. The dog reacts to that. We stop it. We let the dog recognize it. We help him out. If we see it safe, we encourage him to make a step forward. We do not pull. We do not push our dog in it. It has to go on free will. You don't want to be blamed of a damage or trouble because the dog will blame you back. And this is where sometimes fear aggression comes in, that the dog was forced into the situation. He felt like the reason why I got in trouble is because of that leash hanging on me. This is how fear aggression comes on the leash. So the dog feels constrained and restrained on the leash, and he will not be able to do as he wished because of that leash. Because last time it happened, he was on the leash. He couldn't defend himself. So one reason to work it backwards is to get your dog comfortable being on the leash and deal with situations because of you. So we got into the situation, we got the feedback of our dog, the dog is fine with it, we make a step forward, we watch his reactions. Now let's say something went wrong and we got too deep into that thing. So all of a sudden now we have hackles up and we have our dog barking weird and screaming and yelling, I'm gonna kill you before you kill me and help and whatever, jumping. What do? Give me an idea. What can I do when a dog gets frantic and is about to kill everyone? Correct, Sydney. Thank you for pulling it. Don't pull, give the dog time. Don't force the dog towards a scary object. Give them freedom to test the situation themselves with a loose leash, but first be aware of the behavior so that you can support them through the fear. Correct. Amy, this is correct. Now, Christy, I like the options redirect, hopefully, but let's face it, if the dog is in panic, how can you redirect? The dog will not able to follow you because his brain is off. He is already in panic mode. I would suggest Amy's idea, retreat to safe place. He's drowning. Don't tell him how to swim. He will not get it. He is drowning. He wants to get out of there. Get him out as soon as possible, but in no other direction but backwards where he came from. So if you go straight into the situation, go straight back again. Don't make U-turns. Don't make a curve. A U-turn and back. Jeff, tell me what you want to talk about. Hi, Jeff. Good. So we adopted a dog 7 months ago. He's very wary of his harness and collar. Whenever we go to put him on walks, car rides, he will run away. What's the best way to support him through this? That's a good question. I'm happy to answer that. So first of all, you have already a problem situation. The dog sees that harness as a problem. The question is, where does this problem start? When was the first time he denied to go into this harness? What happened that day? So here we're looking at a trauma situation. So your dog has a trauma of getting in that harness that lead him to something that he got scared of. So he blames that harness of him getting into that situation. So 7 months ago, so what he's more aware of his collar or of his harness, is my question. So if anybody has any question, please be prepared and you can post it. Okay, so you got from a shelter. Okay, so it feels like your dog has a problem coming things over his head. Okay, so let's watch this. You have two options, and I show it here based on my friend Sandy. Let's unplug my earphones and go a little bit further back. So I'm having Sandy here. Okay, you have Sandy. I like Sandy. So don't post anything right now because I don't see things. So let's say we have a collar. This is the collar. You have two options to put collar Sandy on. Sandy's collar on. Okay, so here is Sandy. I put her this way, and I'm going on the other side so I can better see that. And you can try it at home. So the first thing I want you to see with your dog, you give him a treat, okay? And the first thing I want you to watch, if you approach the treat on his head, what does the dog do? Will he go backwards or will he go forward? For my experience, if you offer the treat below the line, the dog will go forward to get the treat. If you offer the treat from above, the dog will go backward. And positive training, and I really encourage you to test it. What we do with positive training to force the dog to sit, we create a fear response into his private space so the dog avoids us into sit position, and then we feed him a treat for doing so. Okay, please think about that. I think this is an incorrect action to do your dog to sit, to force him into the fear feeling of avoiding into sit position to get the treat. Instead, I would just wait good enough and long enough until the dog sits on his own and then give him the treat, because that's a positive experience. So the difference, and I want to point it out, is do you treat your dog positive on a general picture, or do you treat your dog positive on his emotional state of mind? Okay, now back to our collar. If I put my dog's collar on and I put the collar like that, then I'm putting the restraining on a safe space. So I'm not triggering his fear. But if I put the collar over his top head, I'm basically creating here a fear response, because this is the part the dog wants to avoid. He doesn't see what we do. It's uncomfortable. Okay? So what I would like you to do is I would like you to change the way you put his collar on. I would go next to him in that situation, okay? pet your dog on the side, put his collar on, and tie it underneath his collar, and give him a treat. Everything you do should go beyond the hard line. So if you see the dog from the side again, do whatever you can to be beyond that line. It's an energy line. Okay? So everything you do, do it from here. Don't do it over his head. So 90% of the bites happening, putting the collar on, is because the collar is being put over the dog's head by interfering in his private space. So what happens with dogs is they own the space where they're standing on and the space above it. So if you go into their space, the dog will back off. So if you go to your dog and bend over him, he goes back. He wants to avoid the airspace. So look at that line. Don't bend over your dog. Prefer to stand next to his dog as a companion and put his collar on, but not hide him in like that. Just throw that over here and clip it underneath. Be nice to him. Okay? Does this answer your question, Ben? So avoid the harness. You don't need the harness anyway. I don't use harnesses because we'll talk about that. Ben, keep it on your question bucket list. Ben, tell us where you're from, by the way. I think I remember where you're from, but I don't remember. Yeah, Ben is an Aussie. By the way, I have a friend of mine is looking for an Australian Shepherd. So if one of you guys, I don't know if you guys are connected with rescues, I need, wait, let me fix something here. I need an Aussie for a friend of mine. Okay, good. I had to find the spot. My screen is on a shady spot. So we're pretty close to close, and I'm happy because we have already 100 people here on board, and we have 17 watching us. And I'm really grateful that you're here, and I would like you, if you feel that this is helpful, you can post it on your Facebook page by clicking, I think it's this direction, by clicking here where the post is. You see like a blue tape that says post. It's posted on your Facebook page or on your Twitter. But the most important thing is you can join the mailing list and you get updates every time I post that kind of websites and Q&As, because I think it's an important part to speak to somebody and get rid of your problem. Maybe you can share it with others and get the answer you need, right? Like Ben did, for example. I think it was the third question you did on that blab, right? Exactly. So, thank you, Sydney. So sign up on our mailing list by clicking on that thing. So try it out. Once we're done here, I will be here and can answer your questions after we closed. We have 4 minutes left. I'll take the last question. Thank you so much. So everybody who thinks that's a good thing to listen to, just go to the blue point and just post it on your Facebook page. It's not embarrassing, trust me, it's okay. You can post it. Don't be fearful. So somebody's tweeting around here. So by clicking on the link that Sydney just posted it, and I mark it as a star because I like that. Thank you so much. You can do that, and you can sure next time we post something, which is, by the way, I really try hard to do it next Saturday, the same time. Okay, so we have one today and one I will do tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow. Let me check it out. Let me tell you right away when we do it tomorrow, because tomorrow it'll be kind of a quickie. Things that are accurate at that time, and I'll tell you exactly when we're going to do it tomorrow. So tomorrow I will do it 8 o'clock in the morning, Sunday, Central Time. And we will talk about, no, excuse me, back. I have to fix that. So 3 o'clock, same time, 3 o'clock Central Time, we will talk about the danger in dog parks. So we will talk about dangers in dog parks, and I will have a guest with me. Who can guess who will be my guest tomorrow? Who was watching my last webinar? Amy! Amy will be my guest. I hope she will be here because I invited her. She didn't say yes. I have to admit she didn't say yes. So that's an official invitation. And everybody else who has experience with aggression and a situation in the dog parks, welcome to join the club and tell us your story, because I just don't go in dog parks. Good. So Amy, what is a good time for you? Hi, Herbie. So, exactly, 3 o'clock Central Time. So please note, 3 p.m. Central, Sunday. So please do sign up on the Blab mailing list, so you get that updates, and you get also the link to the webinar that we will do tomorrow. Or what you can do is you basically follow me here, and you follow me on that Blab, so you can get all these updates. What you do, you click on my picture, and you press follow, and every time you get that message, you can kind of log in. So I have a last question, and I would appreciate your feedback. You can leave your feedback in this note section down here where I posted. Please tell me how you felt about that webinar. Your feedback is important to me because I want to make it better every time we post here. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what you felt great about. Tell me what I should change. Tell me what you would like to be adjusted. Please do not mention my pronouncement, how I pronounce things. I can't fix it. I'll really try though. Okay? Because some people complain about it, and I totally get it. If I say dogs, I don't mean ducks, and I don't mean documents. I mean dogs, D-O-G. Oh, Amy, thank you. I appreciate it. Of course, I have an accent. I'm Greek Austrian. I'm like Schwarzenegger, just a bit better on the pronouncement. I'm not as good as Schwarzenegger. He's kind of big guy. He's Austrian, by the way. Schwarzenegger is an Austrian. Oh, come on. You're not guy with accent. Basically, I haven't heard anybody yet. There is nobody sitting next to me. I cannot complain about that. Somebody tried to sit next to me, but I don't think. So, yeah. Any other questions? It's 4:01. I try to keep it short because some people want to see the video again, and I will not definitely have them sitting 2 hours hearing my blah blah thing. Good. You're welcome, Dennis, to take a video of one of your dogs that you feel like you should show with your phone. Just maybe like 90 seconds. That's more than enough. And either you post it on your YouTube account if you have a Gmail, or you post it on your Facebook and you tag me. Wendy! Hi, Wendy. How are you doing? And so back to my feedback. I would love your feedback. Please give me your feedback. What you can do else is you can go to my Facebook page, which is www.romancecaninetraining.com. Okay, and what you can do there is you can either sign up, get in contact with me, sneak around and see what you can get from there for free. I have a lot of freebies there. Not 100%, so I'm working on that. So I'm right now, I have my friend Cindy. I screwed up. I have friends who... Kate, where are you? Kate, you sneaked in last time. I need you here on board and say hello to all your followers on your page. Come on. Say hi to everyone who came from the group. Because of you, we are here. Everybody say hello to Keith, because Keith, we are here. Come on, I want hands.
You see me
So
yet?
what you do if you want Keith to have hands, you just, here he goes. Hi, Keith.
Hello, everybody.
So thank you so much for having us here. Was it informative?
We had a good 113 viewers right now. It's great.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, Mastiff Lovers rock, Keith rock, awesome. So based on what we discussed today, do you think we can apply something?
Oh, for sure. I think it was very informative. Be nice if, yeah, we had some more time, I guess, and more people that were willing to hop on the video. But, oh well, I guess next time we can push that a little bit more, I guess.
Want everybody to try. Let's give everybody a homework, including you, Kate. Maybe you want to try it. Get your dog outside, and I want you to watch for that tongue and see if you get that message. And if you get that message, I want you to say to your dog, good, thank you for giving me that message. And stop. And wait for your dog.
My Rottweiler does the whole lip licking thing.
Good. And then
go ahead. But he does it, but he does it when he's happy, and when you're petting him under the chin or something, or getting a belly rub, he'll lick his lips too.
Good. Well,
so
that is still processing. He's processing that experience. And there are some dogs who do not have experience of emotional triggers. So if you are so emotional with him, that triggers his brain to process, oh my God, how does it feel like? Oh, I have to process that. Yeah, process it. Enjoy it, because I enjoy it too. So lip licking is not only a calming message. Lip licking is a general message of I'm processing. And that can have different options. So you can have different ways of processing stuff. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's good. It's processing. It's about to be processed and evaluated if it's a problem or not. And I want your dog to be encouraged to send that message to the other dog that is processing. You should be comfortable doing that, because that's the way that the other dog will recognize, oh, this guy is in trouble. Maybe I should wait a little bit. Maybe he doesn't want to meet me yet. Yes. And tell the other guy, give us a minute. We are in training. Just a second. We'll be right there. Let the other person know that you're in training. You will excuse every problem would show up in the moment because you told him that you are in training. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to tell the person I'm training my dog, because he doesn't, right? So your homework is watch on the first calming signal, which I call a communication signal. See the first sign of communication. The dog tells you, I'm processing. And wait for his look. I'm done processing. Good, let's go to that and do a step forward. So you can see, how does this processing feels like? How far zone is that? Is it 50 feet? Is it 20 feet? So if you're going to the situation that you may think that he will start processing, stop there. And he's like, Dad, how did you know? You know, I'm the alpha. You remember? No, I'm freaking taking care of you. I know what's going on. We are in tune. We are a team. I know when you feel bad. Good. So I want to thank you, everybody, and Kate for joining us today. You're welcome to review that. I will send in our group, Mastiff Lovers. And if you have a Mastiff and you're not of Mastiff Lovers group, I will not say the word shame on you, but you should go there. Keith Wagner will check you out, will turn off your Facebook page and see if you really have a Mastiff. And I guess he will welcome you there. You will get a ton of information.
You don't have to have a Mastiff. Just be a Mastiff lover.
You're right. You don't need to have a Mastiff. I don't have a Mastiff. I don't have a Mastiff. I don't have a Mastiff lover. Well, I have one, but he's waiting outside. I'll get him back. So Mastiff Lovers Facebook group gives you information, don't judge you, don't blame you. Well, some do, but it's pretty much controlled. If something goes off the record, it will be kind of fixed. Whenever you have a problem, emergency, you have to call your vet. A Facebook group is not to solve your medical problems, okay? Make sure. A Facebook group will not solve your behavior problems until you contact somebody who knows about that. You cannot ask people who just had one dog in lifetime to solve a problem that people struggling anyway. So you have to find the right resources. You can ask your questions, you get all this feedback, but it's up to you to process that information and make something out of it. Because A and B told you something doesn't mean it is. It's their opinion, it's their experience. I had Mastiffs for several years. I'm not a breeder. I have an opinion, but I don't have the knowledge. If you ask a breeder, how do I treat my puppy, he will most likely give you the right answer because he had already 5 liters or 10 liters. That's different. If you ask a vet how to treat my puppy, he will give you an answer he read out of his book, if he remembers to give you the right answer. So ask the right people who most likely have the right answer, and don't just take everything for granted because somebody answered the question. That's the right answer, right, Keith?
Very well said.
So I want to encourage again, join the Mastiff group. I have seen a ton of information coming out. I learned from there and I was like, that's an interesting answer. I should check it out. And he was right. So there's a ton of information. I think there's a lot of notes there that people can refer to. Yeah, any other questions so far for these latecomers? This is Roman with Roman's Canine Training. And next to me sits Keith Wagner, owner of the Facebook group Mastiff Lovers. And we were happy to have you here on board. Your last words for you, Keith.
Well, just good to see 117 people viewing here. That's incredible. That's almost double of what we had last time. So.
And we have 14 live, like 13 and reducing because we're going. You're welcome. Have a nice evening, guys. Enjoy your last of the weekend. Don't forget your dog. Give a big hug. Bye-bye.
See you later.